You ever go online and think, why does everyone seem so dumb? Like it seems that everyone just has the same recycled opinions and no one is actually thinking. And if you say something slightly different or against the norm, you get called crazy or dumb or any other bad word. But here's the truth, it's not like everyone's just a dumbass. It's that thinking isn't promoted or encouraged. You know, thinking used to be something that was actually respected. But now it's almost become a liability. We live in a time where being honest can destroy your reputation faster than being wrong. It doesn't even matter what's true anymore. What's more important is what's safe to say. Because safe doesn't get you into trouble, safe can even get you admiration. But you don't grow by being safe, you grow by having conversations and asking questions that can feel uncomfortable. Look at anyone who's dared to think outside the box. Kanye, Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes. Say what you want about them, but the reality is, they questioned the narrative and society crucified them for it. The reason is, the punishment today for thinking differently is social suicide. If you go against the so-called accepted opinions, the mob will come for your head. Let's take COVID, for example. That era exposed just how deep this problem goes. I remember not getting the vaccine because I was a young, healthy guy. The vaccine seemed to not properly work, and the way they forced it onto everyone, well, something just felt off. And the way people looked at me, it was like I had 3 heads. Oh, you don't trust doctors? You think you know more than scientists? Well, no, it's not that. You could say I distrust the big pharmaceutical companies, but that doesn't even matter. The fact is, I thought for myself. But back then, that was a sin. You weren't allowed to question things like the lockdowns, the media, or the vaccine. Nothing. And let's be real, that thing was oversold and overpromised. It didn't stop transmissions. People who had the vaccine still got COVID. It didn't end the pandemic. It was supposed to be this miracle shot that saved humanity, but instead it became a political loyalty badge where if you don't take it, you get fired from your job. Does that really make sense to you? And there were so many people who got the vaccine not because they genuinely believed in it and thought it was the right choice. No, they took it because they didn't want to deal with the judgment of other people. They didn't want to be that guy. It was supposed to be about health, but in the end it became about compliance. That's what happens when people are more scared of being rejected than being wrong. And this mob mentality, this is where everything goes downhill. People stop being individuals and just start being tribes. They don't care about what the truth is anymore. What's more important is to belong. They want to feel like they're on the good side and the approved side. So instead of thinking, they just pick a team and defend it like it's religion. That's why arguments today aren't about facts, they're about identity. You're not debating ideas anymore, you're defending your tribe. That's how whole nations justify doing horrific things like even genocide, because the group says it's okay. Mob mentality is one of the most dangerous forces on earth. It can make good people do evil things just to stay accepted. And the craziest part is, most people have strong opinions about topics they've never even researched. They'll swear they know, but all they really know is something someone else told them, or something they sort of just decided for no other reason than it felt right. People form opinions like fast food, quick, cheap, and bad for your brain. And here's another thing, people don't want to learn when debating, they just want to win. And I'm not talking about professional debating where that's sort of the main goal. I'm talking about when you're just discussing opinions with your family, friends, co-workers, classmates. Even then, no one actually cares about the truth. They care about their ego. People are more concerned with not looking stupid than learning the truth. There are 3 main ways I see people form opinions. Number 1, they see what their group thinks, their friends, political side, race, gender, whatever, and just copy it. Number 2, they look at both sides briefly and then just pick whichever feels right. Number 3, they actually research both sides, study the arguments, understand the logic, and only then form a view. Guess which one almost no one does? People go with number 1 or number 2 for the biggest questions in their lives, and then go online to fight people who probably know as much as they do. And I understand forming opinions like that for simple things. You know, obviously you can't form a well thought out opinion for absolutely everything, but not for important things that you are willing to fight about. You got people who can't even explain what they believe and why they believe it, screaming at people who disagree. It's a clown show. We used to celebrate thinkers like philosophers, scientists, rebels, innovators, but nowadays it almost seems like we celebrate followers. People whose entire identity is built around saying the right thing, which is whatever the algorithm tells them it is that week. Critical thinking has been killed. If your favorite influencer or celebrity says it's true, that's enough. If a news headline confirms your bias, even better. But the problem is the truth doesn't care about what's trending. You can't just not talk about things and not say or discuss things because it might upset someone. And here's the thing, if your opinion can't survive criticism, maybe it's not a good opinion. It's almost like people think being kind means agreeing with everyone, but it obviously isn't. Real kindness is letting people think differently without trying to destroy them for it. We've built a culture where offending people is worse than being wrong. And that's why people just shut up and censor themselves. This is how free thought dies, not by force, but by fear. Fear of being excluded and laughed at. Society did it to itself. So ask yourself, when's the last time you formed your own opinion? Not when you inherited from your group, your friends, your family, or TikTok, but when you actually earned it by researching and thinking. When's the last time you changed your mind, not because someone told you to, but because you looked at the evidence and realized you were wrong? Now that's growth. That is also, of course, rare, and that's what's missing today. If you're gonna argue and debate, good. Just know your stuff and try to understand both sides. Don't just try to win, try to learn. Because unless you're a professional debater or a politician, arguing just to win makes you another noise in the crowd. Stop outsourcing your opinions to media outlets, influencers, or politicians. They're not thinking for you. Start forming your own damn opinions. Be wrong and criticized and misunderstood. We live in a time where thinking for yourself is almost like rebellion somehow. Where asking questions makes you called dangerous and telling the truth can cost you everything. That's the price now. That's the cost of honesty. But I'll tell you this, I'd rather be hated for thinking than loved for being a clone. Better to die on your feet than live on your knees. Похуй.